Now, the final thing that I want to show you guys in this introduction is just a quick overview of what drives a player's value up, because it's not just necessarily goals or performance related, although it largely is. So, first thing to mention is that younger players, generally speaking, have a little bit more hype than older ones. So if you've got a young player that's scoring goals compared to one that's 10 years older, for example, generally speaking, the hype goes around the young one because he may be the next big thing. So if we take a look at Haaland, he's the easy example for this season. He was IPO'd back in September at 315, and he didn't really take off too much in the first month. However, people started to take notice a little bit because he was scoring goals. I mean, in the league, he played at Salzburg before. He scored 16 goals in 14 matches and 4 assists. And in Champions League, he scored 8 goals in the 6 matches in the group for Salzburg. So each of these peaks that you see, the chances are there when Champions League games were going on, because that's when matchday dividends are eligible. Salzburg are not in a league in which matchday dividends are eligible. So it's absolutely worth noting that these peaks are probably due to an increase in performance there. So he steadily rose to a healthy 409. That's really quite an expensive player still. Bearing in mind, I showed you the example, Ronaldo is at 320 at the moment. So he's still looking pretty big. What happened here is that there's a massive spike and then a drop. I'll try and get that out of the way to show you. So that spike and drop around this time frame is actually transfer hype. So there was hype around December 13th, 15th time, just before Christmas, whereby there was a big race on for Erling Braut Haaland to sign. Manchester United with a big name, and then it dropped because, as you can see, if I take a little look down in the media, you can see around this time frame, towards the end of December, that he rejected United essentially, and there's loads and loads of media on it. So it was a great buy if you bought him beforehand, but his value started to drop because of the hype around the transfer. So there was a lot of hype for it, and then he wasn't going to United and he dropped. However, he signed for Dortmund in this period, and people started to sell because they thought it's not going to receive the media or the attention that he would have got if he was at United. And so, at 393, if you're on board back here at 315, even 309 he dropped initially, you've still made a healthy profit of around £1 per share, and you'd have got some good dividends along the way in the media and through in-play dividends across here. So, a lot of traders thought sell. Now, those who know football know that Haaland has since gone and absolutely smashed it at Dortmund. And you can see in more recent media, if I scroll all the way up, you can see what's going on. A lot of people are talking about him. He is breaking all sorts of records at the moment. He's barely played 90 minutes, but I think he's scoring an unbelievable rate. So it's no surprise to see the hype around this player, and that is what has spiked this player. So this is just a quick example of what it is that dictates a player's value, and the number one thing to bear in mind is that because he is 19 years old and because he is, deemed as the next big thing, there is a massive amount of hype, and as such, the spike occurs.